All right, we're here at the 2026 NHRA Gatornationals, Gainesville Raceway. Finally in some sunshine. Actually hot and sunburnt today, but I'm not going to complain about it. And our first driver interview of the 2026 season is going to be Jim Roberts, Division I standout with his 69 Camaro, 350 cubic inch G stick car. Jim, how you doing so far today?
Terrible. Had my problems all weekend so far, but we think we got it figured out now.
All right, I see you're reading the instruction manual there, so.
Trying to learn a little bit, you know.
That's
something
good.
I should have read probably 10 years ago, but.
So Jim, we had two qualifying sessions today. Things didn't go quite your way, is basically what you're saying.
Nope, the first one was terrible, and I had to make a lot of changes, and it's running good now, but now I just got to learn how to drive it again.
All right, which we know you'll do because you've been driving this car for a long time. How long have you had the car, and how did you kind of acquire it?
I'm the second owner on the car, and the car has, I believe, 15,000 miles on it, maybe 17. And I got it in 1972.
Wow.
Near the end of the year. Actually, it was at the end of the year, so you could almost say 73 would be the New Year's Eve, 1973. I was underneath this thing with no frame in it and painting the underneath white, so
wow.
That's how long ago I had it.
And where was
and
that?
The car is originally a white car.
Okay, where are you from?
Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
January 1st, 1973, you were already working on the car. You were just turning it into a race car at that
No,
moment?
the car was already used as a race car. And that's what happened. The gentleman that owned it, he bought it brand new and drove it. Like I said, it's either 15 or 17,000 miles. And he broke the engine in the car. He was running a modified Eliminator with it. He broke the motor, and he was recently married. I don't know exactly how long before, and his wife was pregnant, and he said he couldn't afford to do the motor. So it sat in the garage for quite a while. I was looking for a hardtop car, and this one was advertised, but it was just advertised as a 69 Camaro. And when I went and looked at it and seen it was a convertible, I told him I wasn't interested and walked away. And I couldn't get a hardtop car at a reasonable price. They were there because they were they were fairly new yet, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money to build a race car. So I looked for quite a while, and then I went, called him up, and I asked him if he still had this one. He said, yep. So I says, all right. I says, I'd like to come up and take a look at it. So I went up and looked at it again. It had a Lakewood bolt-in roll bar. It had a big hood scoop on it. It's got a 12-bolt rear end. There was no engine and no transmission. It had slicks on the back and skinny tires on the front, and gauges and tachometer and all that kind of stuff. And I asked him what he wanted for it, and he said he'd have to have $600. So I peeled off $600 and took it home.
Nice. Oh, the
it's
good
been
old
downhill
days.
ever since.
Now, did you initially, was it your goal to turn it into a stock Eliminator car, or did you have other plans?
Actually, in 1972, there was no stock Eliminator. We had to convert everything to super stock. And we already had a car. We had a Chevelle, which we ran with the 255 in it. But back in those days, it's not like today. You could only run whatever class the car fell into. You couldn't move down or up. And you also had to go by the factory shipping weight. So this car fell into I stock at very good weight break because it's a 12.0 class, and it falls in at like 12.03 or 12.04, which was ideal. And the real goal of this car was to be all set up, and if the record got hit too hard in the other car, we could just pull the motor out of it, stick it here, and we'd be in a different class with the same motor, and it wouldn't affect us. And that's what it was. That's why the car was basically bought, to do that with it. Then in 1974, they reintroduced stock Eliminator. So we built a stocker engine and put it in this one, and we kept the Chevelle with the super stock engine in it, and we ran the two cars.
All right.
And then as time went by, I sold the Chevelle and kept this one.
Tell us about this 350 cubic inch engine. It's the 255 horsepower rated combo. Give us some of the tech specs here. In stock Eliminator, you have to run the factory cam lift. What would that be?
390 on the intake, 410 on the exhaust.
Wow, you have to run the factory carburetor.
Quadrajet 750 CFM. Cast iron intake manifold with the correct number. This one's a 184. There's two other numbers you can use, but the 184 was actually, when they originally did it, you could only use the 184, and then since then they've added two other numbers to it. It's a 441 cylinder head, 9-to-1 compression ratio, flat top piston.
What kind of valve sizes on the intake and exhaust?
194 on the intake, 150 on the exhaust.
Pretty
Originally,
small.
we had to run 84 pounds of spring pressure, but they've changed that rule, and we're allowed any spring that fits the original pockets. We can't do any changing on the cylinder head to fit a spring. We can only use what fits. And I use a beehive spring in this, which is a later model GM spring.
What kind of spring pressure are we talking now?
Now I run about 190 pounds on the closed pressure. So it's around 400 open.
Okay. Wow, what kind of RPM you turning?
Not very much. It goes through around 71, 7200 RPM. Change the gears around 7,000.
Right, and that's one of our favorite parts of this car. This is a 4-speed, 3-pedal. What kind of RPM you leaving at with this bad boy?
Today, 5,200.
Okay, and let's talk about the transmission and clutch in here. What are you running?
I run an 8-inch advanced clutch from Rob Youngblood, and this has got a Jericho transmission, 4-speed.
You got the old school T-handle here too. You don't have the pistol grip. I like
Nope.
that. It's pretty cool. And what's the fastest, quickest and fastest you've ever run with this car?
The quickest I've ever been is a 1082 right here at Gainesville. And the fastest I would have to say, I don't even know, to be honest with you, probably 122 and a half maybe.
Okay, now you're in G-stick. What's the index in G-stick?
The index is 1190.
1190. All
Yeah.
right. So that's pretty fast. Here we go. Is this weight still accurate? 3290?
Yep,
on
that's the minimum.
And you are,
That's
it was
two-
advertised 255, you're rated at 284, and that's still current. Because
Correct.
the automatic version of this, I think, got
Correct.
hit.
Right.
And they're rated at 295-ish, I believe.
295 on the 250, yep.
Wow. Now, this is really cool. So, Rob Youngblood clutch. We all know who Rob Youngblood is. I like the factory seats in here. I always love factory seats in stock Eliminator. Anybody that's ever seen any of my interviews knows that for sure. And the convertible. Still got the top here. Doesn't seem to have any rips, tears, no leaks.
That's not the original top, but I put that on, I don't know how many years ago now. Probably 25.
We're going to say New Year's Day, 1973.
No, it had the original top for a long time, and it got to the point where the rain was coming through just as fast as it was coming down. So,
Can we take a look in the trunk?
sure.
Oh, wow. No fuel cell or anything.
No, I'm old school, number one. And number two, I just hate to put any holes in the car I don't have to put in it because it's only got 15 or
15,000
17,000
on it.
miles.
I mean, has anybody come up to you and asked you to sell them the car? Or they really
Oh, several
like it?
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, this could be a collector piece if somebody put it back on the street, right?
I don't know what's going to happen to it, to be honest with you. I would like to put it all back together again. I've got everything off of it. Everything that came out of it's in the attic of the garage. And when I painted it this color, I promised it that I would put it back white. So we're running out of time to do that, though.
Now, was it an original 350, 255 engine?
It was actually a 250.
Okay.
This car was built in February of '69, and the 255 was discontinued in the end of December of '68.
So the 250, that's the 2-barrel engine, correct?
Right. That's what was originally in this one.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Well, Jim, this is a really cool car. You're a really cool dude, and we got some in-car footage with you. Who do you have to race first round tomorrow?
Yeah, I got Barry Parker tomorrow. He's going to be chasing me.
Barry Parker, that sounds like your next door neighbor up in New England somewhere.
He used to be. Now he's a Carolinian.
Oh, he's down in the Carolinas. Okay.
Yeah, he's North Carolina.
All right, well, you're going to give him some fits tomorrow, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Be safe out there, and this is a really cool car. We wish you a lot of luck with it until the day that you paint it white and put it back on the street. All right, Jim, take care. Have a great weekend, pal.
Okay, Bobby, thank you.